but I never thought I'd be thanked for them in America for acknowledging their right to exist.
I never thought that there would be 50 hostages still in captivity 648 days later. I never thought on the streets of New York City people would be screaming about globalizing the intifada. And unfortunately, anti-Jewishness, anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism is at an all-time high.
Loathsome actor Michael Rapaport went on Chris Cuomo's show to spew nonsense.
But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are the last acceptable people to openly, outwardly, aggressively, passionately hate. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening in my city with this socialist Democrat, who I think is a Democrat in name only. He's a Dino, this Zohran guy who calls for the globalization of the intifada in New York City. His best friend, Khalil Muhammad, calls for the globalization of the intifada in New York City. And we are this close to having a person like that become mayor of what should be considered the greatest city in the world. But the fact that this guy's even in contention is a slap in the face.
Let's pause here.
A particular phrase that might not be central to the conversation becomes a stumbling block. How would you, as the mayor of all New Yorkers, how would you sort of bridge or navigate that?
I think by refocusing on what has caused so many New Yorkers anguish, especially in this moment. You know, it was just a few months ago that I met a New Yorker in Brooklyn who told me of how more than 80 members of her family had been killed by the Israeli military in Gaza. This is a devastation that many New Yorkers are feeling personally. It's one that for others they are witnessing on a day-to-day basis, and it continues until today. You know, just last week, NBC News reported that the Israeli military bombed a health clinic in Gaza, killing 10 children, including a 1-year-old who had just uttered his first words hours before. We are speaking of a place that is now home to the greatest number of child amputees in modern history. And what offends so many in our city, this horror, is one that is subsidized by our country.
Because Mamdani even said himself that the term was not language that I use, but that I don't believe that the role of the mayor is to police speech. To be clear, many believe and hear it as a call for violence towards Jewish people. Other terms and phrases have also caught this stray. When asked by the Bulwark about the slogan, he said it captured a desperate desire for equality and equal human rights in standing up for Palestinian human rights. He even said the U.S. Holocaust Museum had used the word intifada in Arabic language descriptions of the 1943 Warsaw Ghetto Uprising against the Nazis. I want to be clear about something. In this segment, I'm going to air an interview that appeared on my channel, The Rick Strom Show, where I interviewed founding member Jerobi White because Michael Rapaport directed the Tribe Called Quest documentary that's coming out. Though the Apartheid Defense League's Jonathan Greenblatt hated Mamdani's answer, that should be a tell because this is the same organization that has allowed Donald Trump to skate by and even defended Elon Musk from doing a double Sig Heil when it came to the president's inauguration. Chloe Skinner, a research fellow at the Institute of Development Studies, would write for Mideast Journal. She explained the meaning of intifada and globalized the intifada. Referring to a civil uprising, intifada is an Arabic term that translates to a shaking off, long used in Palestine to refer to the shaking off of the shackles of colonial domination, including through mass civil disobedience, unity, and solidarity, boycotts, divestment, and sanctions. Beneath the burgeoning death toll across Palestine are global systems of power rooted in the logic, history, and present of colonial violence. As such, in the face of G-side, the intifada, the shaking off of colonial dynamics of racism, violence, dehumanization, and division must be globalized.
It's been 2 years and so many people are just blaming Israel and not really educating themselves. And the reality of the situation is it takes two to tango. And I guarantee you all these people that want to talk about Israel and all that stuff and Zionist this and Zionist that, Zionism simply means the right for Israel to exist as a sovereign nation. I wish that word never, ever was conjured up, because it sounds like some exotic plant or some exotic way of thinking. It simply means that Israel has the right to exist. And all these people on these college campuses, they would love to live in Israel before they would love to live in any one of these countries that we've been talking about, let alone in Gaza.
Pause once more. Furthermore, Judaism and Zionism are not the same. Judaism is a revealed religion. Zionism is a political ideology. The Business Standard adds, Judaism is a religion and cultural identity that has evolved over millennia, while Zionism is a political ideology centered on the establishment and preservation of a Jewish state in Israel. Theodor Herzl is widely regarded as the father of the modern political movement of Zionism. He envisioned the establishment of a Jewish homeland in response to the prevalent anti-Semitism and as a haven for Jews facing persecution. The early leaders of Zionism had the goal of establishing a Jewish state and the first Zionist colony in historic Palestine since the late 1800s. At the turn of the century, waves of newcomers, Jewish immigrants, started to come and establish Jewish settlements. They had opposing Zionism, and criticism of the Israeli government is not inherently anti-Semitic. It is imperative to distinguish between criticism of political ideologies or policies and prejudice against a particular religious group. A history of persecution against the Jews does not nullify legitimate criticism of the Israeli government and its policies. As promised, I asked Jerobi White, founding member of Tribe, what he thought about Michael Rapaport, how Rapaport portrayed Tribe in the documentary, and with everything that we just discussed in this segment. Enjoy. When it did come out, what was the group's reaction?
We were pissed. That's why we had so much drama around the releasing of that movie and all that stuff. Because Michael Rapaport made that movie for himself. Okay? Tribe fans don't want to hear that bull. They want to hear how we looped up this. What record did we use for that? Like, they want to hear that. We're nerds. We want to hear more about the process. Tip only chopped up one beat in the movie.
That's right.
Like one in the movie. Tribe fans don't want that. They want to hear how we did the processes and stuff.
So you think he is an opportunist?
I think that Michael Rapaport is a huge hip hop fan. He was one of the 3 or 4 white dudes that was at the parties back in the days. So that led to us using him because he was there. There were other people who wanted to direct the movie, but I was like, maybe they would have been more qualified and made a better product, but they weren't there. We gave Rapaport the edge because he was there. In the middle of the making of the movie, they started having an argument and fight or whatever, and he threw whatever script he had plan he had before and focused on that, because that was the time when the tabloid TV and all that stupid shit was on TV, the sex and drama sells. So that was he got caught up in that.
But really, it felt like it was just a disagreement between brothers. Like everybody beefs.
Dude, thank you. And that's all it was.
What troubles me, and I say this as a Jewish person who also has a brain and can see what's going on, the way that he has spoken about what is happening in present day and some of the videos that came out of him allegedly yelling on the phone about getting paid.
Getting paid for it. Thank you.
It's like, dude.
Yep.
You are the stereotypical Jewish man of everything that we don't want to be. And it hurts.
Yeah.
And even if you are, no matter where you are politically, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
So that's what hurt me. So with all that being said, would you have I'm thinking of the way to phrase this. Would you have a drink with him? Would you have dinner with? I don't even know if you drink. Would you have dinner with him? Would you smoke a cigar with him?
Nah. No, those things exclude you from the manhood. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't sit with him in any kind of way.
What if he saw you in New York on the street?
Depends on the day. It depends on the day. The people who are saying there's nothing going on wrong, that's crazy to me.
I know.
Feel what you feel, but don't sit there. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Okay. So I didn't like that. A lot of people that I love dearly, between Trump and this Zionist movement stuff, I've lost a lot of friends, man.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like people I've known for 20 years and more. Like I'm like, wow, this is who you really are. It's really troubling.